Good morning and welcome to Swan Island Dahlias. I'm Heather Schlow, part of the team here at Swan Island Dahlias in the Willamette Valley in Canby, Oregon. Today we want to talk a little bit about you might be getting your order in the mail, and I just want to share with you a few tips. This is Mary's order from Maryland that's shipping out today, and I thought I would just grab it and act like it was my order so I could share with you what it looks like to get an order in the mail from us. So we ship through the post office. So all of the orders shipping out right now are going through the U.S. Postal Service and are on their way in 2 to 3 working days from our farm in Oregon to you in your location. So when you get your order and you open it up, you're going to find a few goodies in here. There's going to be a growing guide, might be blue or purple. You're going to want to hang on to this. This has a lot of information. It's got information about when to plant, how to plant, fertilizing, staking, topping, cut flowers, dividing, winter storage. It's got a lot of information from us to you. Second, you're going to find a special note in your order. This little card talks about when to plant, how we label our tubers, and our guarantee. So if you have questions, make sure you refer to this. It's a great little helpful hint there. Third, you're going to find your invoice. This will list all of the items that you purchased. There might be multiple pages. In this case, it's just one page. You'll also find this catalog. Might look a little different. Many of you might have seen our larger catalog that goes out late December, early January, and continues to mail out to new customers through May. But we also include this catalog with each order. And the one thing I really love about this catalog is in the back, it has a reference guide or a black and white listing of all the varieties we grow. And it's got a really quick reference. If you're out in your garden and wanting to plant and wanting to know size of bloom, color, height, use this catalog. It's great for that. So you're going to find all those goodies in there, and then the exciting part happens. Then you get to see what comes in your box. So if you're a new customer to us, you might not realize how we label our tubers. If you've ordered any package deals where we have pre-selected the items, and this is just a collection, this is the cut flower collection. It has 10 tubers in it, all in one bag, but it comes with a pretty little picture label for you. But each tuber is labeled with the name, and I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. If you ordered, let's say 3 different varieties, 1 tuber of each, they're all going to come in one bag. And if you read this little pink tag, it's going to remind you that we stamp the names directly on the bag. If you ordered 2 or more of the same variety, it's going to come like this, where they're all in one bag together. So if you've ordered singles, they come all together in one bag. If you've ordered multiples, then you're going to have those separated into their own bags. So hopefully that makes a little sense to you. If you're new to our tubers and labeling system, I kind of want to give you a little heads up. As you can come in and see, we hand stamp each tuber that leaves our farm with the name on the tuber directly. So if you open this little bag up, which I'll go ahead and do, open this little bag up, and this guy, I just did quickly this morning, has 2 little Imahati, and it should have had a number written on that little pink tag. We missed that this morning, just prepping for my little video here. So we shipped them all in peat moss for some nice little insulation, and that's the happiest place. They love the peat moss, and we'll start nicely in it. But you'll see in this bag, 2 Imahati are in there, and you are gonna have to dust the peat moss off. If you get one where the letters are just smudged just a little, you could run it underwater or use a paintbrush and dust it off. But we really love this way of labeling and have heard great positives. Once in a while we hear a little negative that somebody would rather have a picture label, but again, that would be a lot of wasted paper in the world, and we really feel like you can use your catalogs for reference and have the tubers labeled themselves. So the nice thing is if you dump them on the ground accidentally, you'll know who's who and nothing to worry about. We also get a lot of calls about tuber size, and people panic when they get a small tuber or a large tuber, but we really want you to see they're like people, and we want to remind you that you really should not judge a tuber by its size. I grabbed just some random little guys out of our bins this morning and just want to show you that they come in all sizes and shapes. Some will be sprouted and some will not. Don't worry, some have been in our cold storage longer than others. Some have been in our warmer shipping room preparing for shipment and might have already started sprouting. So don't panic if you get one that you're not seeing an eye on. It actually has been checked at 4 different stations for an eye, and it's ready to go in the ground when it's planting time. So that brings us to another little bitty information that a lot of us need to remember. If you're in the southern states, you've probably already planted, and I'm a little late at getting this video to you, which I apologize for. But for the northern half of the US, if you're thinking about planting, and I know back in the Midwest you are getting hammered with snow, so we know that the boxes have been packed with extra paper, extra peat moss. Your tubers should be fine as they arrive in 2 to 3 working days. If you ever have any concerns once you get them, please let us know. However, if you're thinking about planting, it is absolutely going to be a gorgeous day here in the Northwest. We're looking at about 75 degrees today. However, our nights are still in the low 30s, and next week we're going back to cooler temperatures and rain. So ideally you would not be planting yet. I know many of you have reached out and are planting. My concern is the ground has not had enough time to warm up. We usually plant in the Northwest and most northern states about Mother's Day weekend, which means we still got a few weeks till that's going to happen. What we really are waiting for is that the nights warm up a little and our daytime temperatures stay warmer, or at least are able to get that soil temperature up to 60 degrees. We took a walk out to our field this morning. This is just a soil thermometer, and you could use something similar or even a cooking thermometer if it goes low enough. You're really wanting your soil temperature to be about 60 degrees. We checked in our fields this morning and we're at probably about 55. If you have planted, which I know many of you might have and are starting to probably panic when you heard me talk about this morning, I would recommend if they're in one area that you go out and put a little plastic down over that area. You're going to create a little mini greenhouse, and that's going to help heat that soil up a little quicker and not risk having too cold of temperatures in that soil. So these little guys don't need much water to get started. If you're in the warm climate, you are definitely going to have to give them a little water to get them started. But if you're in the Northwest and most of the northern half of the US, no water is needed when you plant. And the reason being is this little guy is really self-contained. He can't take in any water because he has no roots at this point. So really make sure when you go to plant, and we're going to do a planting video I believe next week for you, and I'll give you a lot more hinters on what to do and what not to do. But this guy really isn't ready for much water at this point. So when you plant dahlias, no water. Don't water them. Mother Nature is going to help us in that department and give us a little rain, which we depend on. But again, if you're in the south, you're going to need to water them about once a week. So anyways, this little guy is going to just be self-contained and ready to go once we're ready to plant. One other little tidbit, you might in your package get some tubers that have these sprouts on them, or they've bent around or wound around each other. That's okay. When you go to plant, don't do it ahead of time because we don't want to encourage more sprouting. Really, when you go to plant, pinch this sprout off. Let's see if I can do it with my gloves on. Ooh, there we did. So we've pinched that sprout off. We don't want this sprout to be any longer than 1 to 2 inches in length. I'm not touching the tuber itself, just that sprout. We want this sprout to be nice and strong and sturdy and push through the soil. So if you leave that long sprout, he's going to have a very weak plant and fall over. So we really want a nice little short sprout that's going to push its way through the soil. So these guys are ready to go, and although they're not going to go in the ground just yet, we are not planting here on the farm yet. It'll be another couple weeks before we start. I will give you a video of that once we start that also. So these guys, since I am not ready to plant, should just stay in their bags with the peat moss they came in, ideally in a garage somewhere they won't freeze, somewhere that it's not too cold and not too hot. We don't want them to dry out either. If you only have your house to bring them into, that's okay. Just open the bags up, let some air in, it'll let the ventilation, and we won't have any mildew or anything started on them. If you ever have a tuber that seems soft, rotted, anything, or broken during shipment, give us a call. That's what we're here for. But these guys are ready to go and just wait for you to be ready to plant. And again, that soil needs to be about 60 degrees. Don't rush it. Ideally, what you plant in mid-May or late May will catch up with what we planted late April, early May. It's kind of crazy to think about, but the ground will be much warmer at that point and they will take off much quicker. So I hope I've given you lots of information. Don't be panicked if you don't see an eye or a sprout on the dahlias that we send you. Like I said, some are coming from cold storage and may not have had time to sprout. Keep them in the peat moss, that's where they're the happiest, and they should sprout in about 10 to 14 days if you were to bring that package in your house somewhere about 70 degrees or a little warmer. They'll take off and get sprouted. You don't need to start them indoors unless you're in a cold climate where you're having a shorter growing season. Most people can wait and just plant straight into the ground. So we know that everybody's in a little crazy time. It's been very uncertain. Many people are working from home. There's been so many changes in the world. We are lucky enough to be an essential business where we are still open here at our farm. We have closed our gift shop and office to walk-in sales. We're doing curbside pickup for local people. But our entire staff of 35 employees are still on site working. We have everybody wearing masks and gloves and barriers, and we're trying to be very well about what we do and take care of all of our employees to make sure everybody stays happy, healthy, and safe during these uncertain times. So you can know that when your package arrives to you, it's been packed by somebody with a lot of love, who's given a lot of care to your order. It's passed through about 4 hands, but those hands are all gloved and the faces are masked, so you can feel safe in these crazy times. So we hope that you will enjoy your dahlias and have an amazing growing season this year. I think we all need a little joy, a little bright sunshine in our world. So if you have questions, please reach out to us, message us, email us, or just pick up the phone and give us a call. We're happy to visit with you. You are calling here directly to our farm, and we really like and enjoy visiting and hearing your stories. So if there's anything you need, please reach out to us. We do offer these soil thermometers, but again, it's just to give you an idea that we're just not ready yet to plant and to wait a few more days, if not a couple weeks. If you have any other questions, reach out to us. Again, I'm Heather Schlo with Swan Island Dahlias here in the beautiful Willamette Valley, and we hope you'll take time to plant some beautiful dahlias this year. See you soon.